The chill of a makeshift hospital room, the menacing shadow of a disgraced doctor, and the cold dread of powerlessness. This is the nightmare Joe Tate has woken up to. For weeks, Emmerdale fans have been on the edge of their seats, watching a man who has always been in control spiral into a web of his own making. But this is more than just a story of a villain getting his comeuppance. It's a heart-pounding exploration of desperation, the primal fear of death, and the soul-crushing consequences of crossing a line from which there is no return. The air in the Dales has been thick with whispers and veiled threats ever since Joe Tate, a man who oozes self-assurance, returned to the village a shadow of his former self. We now know the devastating truth. Joe has been battling chronic kidney disease, a silent killer that has been eating away at his life force. This wasn't a plot for power or money. It was a desperate, raw fight for survival. And as we've seen, a cornered animal is a dangerous one. Joe, faced with the agonizingly long and uncertain wait on the official transplant list, made a choice that has set in motion a catastrophic chain of events. As actor Ned Porteous, who so brilliantly brings the complex Joe to life, puts it, in the recent kidney storyline, his motivation was to live. If he'd gone down the legal route of doing what he had to do, he could have died. It's a sentiment that, on a purely human level, sends a shiver of understanding down your spine. What wouldn't you do to see another sunrise? To have more time with the people you love? Joe's justification is chillingly simple. He was happy to put his life before others. His target, his own flesh and blood, Caleb Milligan. In a scheme that has had viewers both captivated and appalled, Joe, with the help of the ethically bankrupt Dr. Crowley, orchestrated a plan to steal one of Caleb's kidneys. It was a storyline so audacious, so morally gray, that it even drew criticism from a kidney charity for its dramatic liberties. But in the world of Emmerdale, it was a stark and terrifying reminder of just how far a man will go when his back is against the wall. The illegal transplant was a success, but the victory was short-lived. The physical scars may have been healing, but the psychological wounds were just beginning to fester. Joe returned to the village a man haunted, not just by his actions but by the ever-present fear of exposure. And in a small village like Emmerdale, secrets have a way of seeping into the soil and poisoning everything they touch. The anonymous threats began subtly at first, a creeping sense of being watched, a taunt here, a veiled message there. Then came the blackmail, a cold, hard demand for money that signaled Joe's carefully constructed world was about to come crashing down. The paranoia set in, turning him against those closest to him. Who could he trust? Who knew his darkest secret? His suspicions fell on his new henchman, Sean, a man he had brought into his inner circle. In a tense and explosive confrontation that had fans holding their breath, Joe accused Sean of being the architect of his torment. The betrayal was a bitter pill to swallow, but the swift and brutal fallout was even more shocking. Just as it seemed Sean's menace would overwhelm him, a shotgun-wielding Sam Dingle appeared, a surprising and much-needed ally in Joe's corner. For a fleeting moment it seemed Joe might have a way out, a quick escape from the village, a chance to outrun his demons. But as any seasoned Emmerdale viewer knows, the past has a long and unforgiving reach. In a heart-stopping twist, Sean, far from being a lone wolf, ambushed Joe, knocking him unconscious with a sickening thud. And now we are left with the chilling tableau that has set social media alight with theories and fears. Joe, disoriented and terrified, awakens in a makeshift hospital room. The face looming over him is not a friendly one. It is the face of Dr. Crowley, the man who helped him defy death, now seemingly intent on becoming his judge, jury, and perhaps doctor want? Is it more money? Revenge for the risk he took? Or is he merely a pawn in a much larger game? The whodunit of who is truly pulling the strings has had the Emmerdale fandom buzzing with speculation. Could Caleb, the wronged man, be seeking a far more poetic and painful form of justice? Is there another player we haven't even considered? Ned Porteous himself acknowledges the precarious position his character is in. Somebody's always got it in for Joe. He doesn't have the easiest life, but then he kind of asks for it, I suppose. It's this blend of sympathy and condemnation that makes Joe such a compelling character. We may not condone his actions, but through Porteous's nuanced performance, we understand the terror that drove him to them. This storyline has tapped into something primal, the will to survive and the moral compromises we might make when faced with our own mortality. It's a high-stakes, emotionally charged drama that has gripped the nation, reminding us that in the quiet corners of the Yorkshire Dales, the most dangerous battles are often the ones fought within the human heart. As Joe Tate lies at the mercy of a man who holds his life in his hands, one thing is certain: the reckoning has arrived, and the price of a stolen life is about to be paid in full.